the year of Superman. Welcome to the Krypton Reports next episode. This episode is a little different because we had our new format, and I have a really cool episode coming, but it involves a lot of people, and it's just taking a little bit more time to put together for several different reasons. So it was supposed to drop today. When you're hearing this, it was supposed to be this episode, but because we had to push it to next month, we will be reviewing more Superboy today. Which is
a lot of Superboy today.
Yeah, which is weird because we're back-to-back episodes with Superboy, but it was really the only thing that we could really move from next month to kind of cover because, I have my schedule, I have my I'm trying to keep up on everything, and I'm very big on my schedule and just trying to do things. So what are you gonna do?
Right.
So we're gonna kick this off.
We're just gonna keep plugging away at all of our content, past, present, and future.
So yeah. So I had a very rough week. I had a big health scare, put me in the hospital, had to call the squad when I was at work. I'm not going to go into all the details. Some scary stuff. And I just wanted to record because it is one of the things that makes me the happiest and kind of is fun and puts me at ease because I need to do something because it's been a really hard week. So that's another reason I haven't had time to finish up some of the elements that needed to be refined for this upcoming special episode. Plus, I still got to get a couple things from some people. But anyways, that's why, we are doing Superboy again. But enough of that sad stuff. I'm still alive. I'm still here.
Well, thank Ralph for that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's been tough, guys. So we are going to kick off here and discuss some news because we have quite a bit of news, and I usually behind the scenes stuff I have it all listed out, but today I'm like, there's so much stuff. I have it kind of together, but there's going to be some random stuff too because I haven't had enough time to organize as much as I want. So first things first, this is just awesome. I love, anyone knows me knows that I love Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy. Linus is my home dog. So this little Snoopy and Charlie as Superman and Krypton says, "Take me home." I love it.
That's
I just want
cute.
to share it.
Yeah, that's really cute.
Other thing, the Superman toothbrush is upon us.
Yeah, a Superman spin brush.
Yep, it is upon us. I guess there will be toothpaste as well. It's an oral gel for kids, anti-cavity fluoride toothpaste. We don't really use fluoride toothpaste, so that sucks. But I found this today in the wild at Walmart, and I bought it. So I have me. That's when I messaged the group chat and said, I hope we get a Superman cereal. I came home and I was like, Junia, I might have an addiction and a problem of an impulse control. And her mom was here and she looked at me and everything. And I kind of winked at her mom and I set down the bag and she pulls out the toothbrush. And I was like, oh my gosh, Tyler.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Okay. Still have not found.
Tyler's gonna use his kid's spin brush.
Oh no, they're gonna get their own. This is mine.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying it was a kid's spin brush. You're gonna use the kid's spin brush toothpaste. toothbrush. I know they had their own. You had 3 of them right there. So
The doctor, my dentist, told me I need to get an electric toothbrush. So, surprise!
you know what? That was a great upgrade on my part, was getting an electric toothbrush as well.
Yeah, I found one I want to get. I just haven't done it yet. Other things get in the way. But I thought that was hilarious. I was like, still have not found the Old Spice shampoo yet. I have the deodorant and the body wash, and all that's left is the shampoo. I don't use the spray deodorant, so I don't have to worry about that. But calling all you Fortnite players, DC Studios is reportedly collaborating with Fortnite to have DCU skins. James Gunn is giving notes on designs. This
Ooh.
makes sense. And
Stuff like that would make me play Fortnite, running around as DC characters.
yeah,
That would incentivize.
dude, I'm a sucker for this stuff. I just bought a child's toothbrush for myself because it has a new Superman on it. They have me.
I
Okay.
know.
This was posted. Okay, so this is not from me, but this was posted on a Superman fan site that I'm part of, Collectors. Someone has spotted Superman T-shirt at Walmart. You can tell from the photo here that it's the Walmart type sticker pricing. So keep your eyes peeled. I will go and I will find this and buy about 3 of them for my children each. Last year, I bought on Walmart online. I bought just classic Superman T-shirts because I found they were on they were like $3 a piece. So I bought them for my kids in like bigger sizes just because I'm like they grow so fast, and I'm like these kids need Superman T-shirts. So keep your eyes peeled for Superman merchandise. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get some reveal of some toys here soon, because we're starting to see little things here and there. But I'd like to actually see.
I love that there's just things trickling out all over the place. You got Superman in the health and beauty area, toothbrushes. You got Superman in the clothes.
Oh, I'm on Walmart's website. Yeah, that's what I do. And the shirt is on their website. It says $8.98 for men. So it's coming, guys. It's coming. I'm gonna buy me one too, and just because I like to have one that's like a good one, and then one that I don't mind, like, sweating to death in. That
Right.
way, because I have some. I have what do you call it? I have some that are like that. So we're just like Superman t-shirt. I don't mind like getting dirty or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, there it is. I
Like the
shared the
Superman
link.
t-shirts I'll wear to work and I'll wear at the gym.
Yeah, they're the
Otherwise,
ones usually. They're usually the ones I buy at Walmart and stuff that are like 5 to under $10 that I can usually easily find again. That I don't feel like so it's out there now. Speaking of toys, man. Okay, don't know how I feel about this. Okay, oh crap, I hit the wrong button. We've gotten a lot of, like I said, little news recently, but this Mattel and DC have agreed upon a new licensing deal starting in 2026. Now, for anyone who may not realize, I don't know if that's going to can completely negate anything special from McFarlane, like some of their DC Direct. I wonder if that'll stop like their superpower figures. But what about Spin Master? Because Spin Master has been doing a lot with DC toys, and I'm really looking forward to their line for this new Superman film. But Mattel was the one that had the licensing before McFarlane and Spin Master took it. So I'm wondering if this is going to just, and I have some of the Mattel stuff, but they really didn't get into like more of the pristine figures. So I don't know how I feel about it. Like, as someone who enjoys the toys, but also I feel like they don't have to just rebuy a bunch of stuff because they'll be like, oh, this is the Mattel version now, and I'll just be like,
Yeah, I have a number of the Mattel version. I have them in the red box. I have them in the blue box, and then they switched over to McFarlane. So
no, don't know. But all right, so that's what I got for toys. We'll have to wait and figure out because like I said, I really like the 12-inch Superman figure that I got from Spin Master. I bought it for Sayla, and then I went and bought me one because it's so detailed and such a great figure. I'm like, dang, Spin Master has upped their game. So I'm kind of like, they make
nice.
they make really good quality toys that what do you call it? Really good quality toys that are still affordable. You know?
Yeah, because toys are expensive now.
I mean, yeah, it's just like, holy crap.
Yeah, toys
So,
are really expensive now.
well, the problem is that all the kids just want is electronics, apps, blah blah blah. But all right, what else we
Man, I
got? What else?
remember going to this toy store and it was like pick a toy, and they were like $5 to $7
Yeah, I
for
mean,
the
like,
cool ones.
well, part of it's because they shifted the toy market to people like us who are older, who have more money, who are collectors, and they put so much detail in them.
Right.
That's why you need just for our listeners, our good friend Levi here. He says, if it means McFarlane is done, my action figure collecting is probably done. I was never a huge fan of Mattel DC figures.
Oh man.
And you know what? I have some, but I agree. So yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it was exciting
Especially,
when McFarlane took on the DC brand. They make some really awesome figures, and they make some different sizes, and the detail is on par with the top other toy makers, NECA and what was the other one?
I mean, McFarlane's always made great toys. They started doing a lot with horror toys,
Yeah, and their sports figures.
So,
I
excuse
remember
me.
I remember back in the day going to toy stores early in the morning when they first opened up with my with a buddy's uncle, because he was a collector. He'd look for rares and ones that were different, like they were different characters in with different packaging and stuff. It was, yeah,
Good old days.
it was interesting.
We're going to jump over here to some comics. We got this coming up, the Sonic and Justice League crossover. Solomon cannot wait. I'll have to physically buy these books again. But one of the books, we have this special coming up, Superman Unlimited. That's part of the Summer of Superman. And this is the Dan Mora cover that features David Cornsweet and James Gunn. And I really like Dan Mora's art.
Yeah.
And
I love that James Gunn's really going in hard on DC. You know what I mean? He's got himself animated and
I
comic
just,
book, and
well, I mean, I feel like he's
he's
trying
like
to make himself
immortalizing himself.
right, and he's making himself a brand. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, James Gunn is a brand. I mean, you don't
Well,
see,
as we know, it was the brand was tarnished,
yeah,
for so many years of up and down. Um,
but think about, like, he
uh,
put himself in Harley Quinn, uh, and and he was in the opening credits of Creature Commandos.
yeah, exactly.
So, and then the last little bit of news for comics I have is DC announces Absolute Universe crossover, kicking off with Absolute Flash. So it looks like the Absolute Universe is going to cross over with the main universe. That's cool, but I feel like that should have been a year or two into it. Like we're not even, you know, 6 issues, which is usually your first full arc of a comic run. We're not even 6 issues into. Um,
Yeah. Um, I I mean, it's inevitable that they're gonna cross over, and I hope at this point it's sparing, especially with the idea of just being the Flash, because we've only got the Trinity Absolute books, so the
yeah, I
Flash
saw.
is gonna be the fourth Absolute book.
So like
So
they're building that world up, and before I have, unless it ends up being some sort of small mini crossover, you know,
yeah, I mean that's all I see it as. I mean, um, with a book that we'll talk about later, there's still, I mean, it's all in just started. I mean, they're still trying to figure out what happened to Darkseid and what's going on the other Earth,
the Elseworld.
the Elseworld. Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like a big crossover. I need to give it some time. So before we get there,
Well, I hope so. I mean, the books are selling really well.
but I mean, usually early on the books do sell well. I mean, I'm not
They
trying to.
do, but they've
I'm not
also
trying.
been good. They've also been good, in my opinion. All
Oh
three of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if I had to rank them, Superman's my favorite, Wonder Woman's probably my second, and Batman's my least favorite.
I wouldn't even say least favorite. I just say,
It's coming in third place
yeah.
out of three. That means it's least favorite, James. But
But least favorite kind of gives it a negative connotation.
mm, so, and I hate saying it because it's Scott Snyder writing it, but I just feel like it's just I don't know. I don't know. There's some stuff with it, but
There's still a lot to be explored with it. I haven't read issue 5, but
I issue whatever's on the app. That's what I've read. But
5 just dropped. I haven't read that issue yet.
so
Same thing with Wonder Woman 4.
Supergirl is getting a new costume and her own new book, and these images are taken from um, some of the variant covers that'll be the first issue as part of the Summer of Superman. And all I can say is I like how I'm glad she's getting her own book again, but this just looks like a mismatch of the different type of suits that we've gotten. It looks like the new 52 style S almost. It's the boots that are way too high up that we've seen that are almost like legging boots, a skirt, long
They're thigh-high
sleeves.
boots. Yeah.
Yeah, long sleeves. And then the big difference is now like it has the midriff like before. It's like
Yeah, from the mid 2000s.
yeah, it's just like a mismatch of other Supergirl suits we've seen. So we have like I don't know, it looks kind of weird. And like I said, we have two different artists here drawings of it. But it just kind of looks like a mixed match of suits.
Well, I
Um
mean, it's just interesting, her kind of going back, getting her own suit, really, where the super family's kind of been, they've
everybody
been
in the
in
jackets.
their jackets and stuff. I mean, I feel like the jacket thing kind of does the family stuff, but also like Supergirl's had her variations, but on her standard look for for 60 years. Like,
Mhm.
so I think is, I mean, not quite, but damn near the matriarch of the supers on Earth. Like,
And we'll talk more about
she could stand up with Superman with her own uniform that stands out a little bit. I mean, like Power Girl.
and we'll
I
talk
mean,
about Power Girl a little bit later as we get into some comics.
right, about her suit and stuff, and then
Because I feel like it's always that kind of ebb and flow of building the character up and then taking them back to the status quo.
Yeah.
Because one thing I had is they had this whole big movement, for the super family and everything.
Right.
But what always got me is everyone got these like unique, almost matching suits, except Superman just had his traditional suit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because it was very they were all unique per person, but they were so similar.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting now is that they are changing. Like John's got his own suit, his own style of suit without a cape, and
You mean Super
Connor's
Son?
got his kind of classic, yes, Super Son, still John. But Connor's got his classic look. Keenan, I and
Kenyans is different, which is awesome because
yeah.
just being
So Supergirl getting hers, and I mean Power Girls is still. It's more. Uh, I don't know. It's it's less revealing as it used to be, but it's still very much Power Girl's suit.
mm-hmm.
And she could still stand to even if it moves further on, she could even still stand to lose the red jacket and go back to a red cape, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I I'm okay. I appreciate it was nice, at a time, but I appreciate them having their uniqueness.
Yeah, it's amazing because like last night, like I was looking through some things, and I'll bring it up later. Um, Going through like rereading Joshua Williams' run on Superman, and just like how uh, it feels like it's been going on longer, but like when you read it straight, it goes by fast, and you're like, man, you're like, it feels like it's been so long, but it really hasn't. Especially because we've been reading continually for
Well, the
a
Williams run.
while.
Yeah. The Williamson run here is what, 22 issues now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started it at 1.
So it's yeah. But okay. All right, we'll keep moving here. Okay. I think that's all I have for comics. Yep. Okay. I'm trying to do the small stuff first. All right, let's do this. Ready? DC has Dark Legion, which will be an app-based game that's coming soon that you can pre-order, pre-download.
I have. I'm gonna see what it's all about.
Um, I did too. So it's coming. So that's something. Dark Legion. We'll check it out. Could be something fun on the app. Everyone's got a device here. And then we were talking about this just last episode, but Warner Brothers has canceled the Wonder Woman game. Monolith Productions, Player First Games, and WB San Diego are also shutting down.
That's so sad. I
It
was
is
looking
so.
forward to that game.
Well, like I told you, we were talking about it. If they would, we were talking about it last week. If they would develop a Justice League game where each level is kind of a mini game of a certain character, maybe maybe it's like a Justice League origin game where you play like a couple stages as each person, and then at the end is when the actual Justice League forms and they come together. That way you're kind of making a Wonder Woman game, you're making a Superman game, you're making a Batman game. You're testing the waters of what's working. Because there was also something I didn't get a chance, but there were talked about there hadn't been any pitches or anything for a Superman game. But James Gunn says they've talked to NetherRealm and Rocksteady about developing more DC games. Great. How about honestly, one thing I would like is just a Batman fighting game. Because there's so many characters in the Batman universe that would be fun to have in a fighting game. Where you're not like playing as the Flash and you're like, why am I not moving as fast as I should be in a fighting game? But
Well, they don't do a whole lot of that in the game, but let's see, Super Pill,
you know what I'm saying?
which is why they can compete on the same levels.
But I'm just saying, like, and make a game that people are actually interested in. Like I said, if you develop it to where, and I think part of the problem is games nowadays, there's such a high bar for games. Like I was showing Solomon, like with his PlayStation 5, um, how we've had such a problem because, um, what do you call it? It's already full.
Yeah.
Like his hard drive is full just because some of the, like, we don't have that many games we haven't played, but they're like 150 gig games, you
Right.
know. And I'm showing him like this can be a big problem because this is what happens.
Yeah.
With
I had to buy a 4 terabyte external hard drive for my Xbox so I could, just get tons of games, like as many games as I could. I mean, I still got tons of space.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there are games that have so much content. There are games that are incredibly cinematic with great stories. You know what I mean? Like there is a high bar for games, you know? Um
And I think, I
and
mean,
there's
I think,
always
go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
and there's always such a criticism for superhero games, as especially when they're like connected to big characters or movies, but there there are ways to do a lot of there's different ways to do the games. It's just the fact that they take so long to develop, and they're always trying to push the systems forward, and and when they're able to do so much, it just takes longer to develop the games.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
So they worked on Wonder Woman for probably the last 3 years, and now it's
yeah,
just not coming out.
I don't know why they just couldn't find ways to, I don't know, take what they have and rework it like into the game that I was proposing.
Yeah.
It's just not
Like I
wasted.
said, I think I mentioned, like, I'd be happy if they even did an Ultimate Alliance style, like the Ravensoft games, X-Men Legends, and the Marvel Ultimate Alliance, where you could just, a lot of DC characters and build a team, and you
Well,
know
I'm thinking,
play in a lot of different corners of the DC universe with a lot of different types of DC characters that are all, you know, individualized, but kind of y- at a similar in a similar manner across the board.
mhm, yeah. I mean,
Like
it's just
if the thing that I saw if the thing that I saw earlier, I think at the very beginning of the year, proves to be true, they're going to
mm,
be um selling Marvel Ultimate Alliance again, like the remastered version or whatever.
nice.
That's a lot of rights contract issues, like it was
Mhm,
the game was the game, and then it was like remastered and everything, and then as the rights were, they had to stop selling it. So unless you got it when it was available, you can no longer get it. But then there was a deal, and that was like for like 6 or 8 different Marvel games that could be played up, like X-Men Legends or X-Men Origins Wolverine and the Deadpool game were like on that list. So
mm.
um I bet if it proves true that that Marvel Ultimate Alliance game comes back out, I bet a lot of people will be um jumping on to grab to grab that if it gets released again.
All I'm saying is I
Because
think
it's a really good game.
we've put so much emphasis on uh it, so much emphasis on these games, uh and like you go back and you look at how, I think the PlayStation 2 era, the Xbox was probably in a way the best because the games were good quality, but at the same time, like they weren't at the place where they're at, where uh what do you call it? There's such a high demand. Like you could make the game. I mean, go back and look at some of those. Like look at the Superman Returns game. I mean, they were quality, but they weren't so overly processed and done that, like we were saying, like it took up so much time to create, and then
Yeah.
it gets killed or it flops or it's glitchy and buggy. You know what I'm saying? And it comes out, and then you spend more money because uh you have to, what do you call it, buy all the downloadable content,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just that does suck. That's a problem with the thing as with the uh um genre as a whole, games and everything. That's just how it is now. And it's a stigma, it's a issue that people have, but of course they're going to keep playing games and everything. But yeah, I mean, they've had, especially Superman. I mean, he's had, like, Superman Returns is probably the best game Superman's had.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty damn near. The only other one that kind of comes close to it, I believe, is the Death of Superman game.
For 60 for Super Nintendo.
Yeah. Um, and then that was it. Like the rest of them sucked, you know. And even Superman Returns, the big boss was a tornado. So it had some interesting concepts and everything, but I mean, yeah, with everything that's able to be done, what they did with the Batman games, um, if they just if they was able to get, you know 2/3 of that for Superman, I mean, it probably would be one of the best Superman games ever made, you know?
I just kind of wish uh just remaster some of these games and put them, or just make them available to play, like on, you know systems now, like
Yeah,
the
the
way.
backwards compatibility sucks.
Well, I mean, even that, like, like I bought, they released the Nintendo 64 on Switch of Pod Racer. It's a smaller version of the game, but it was still cool to have. um I don't know, just things like that. Like, if just release the games as digital, like as they are, just so you can play them again.
Yeah.
um but so as we're recording, I'm always going through the news to make sure I didn't miss anything, but it's being reported, okay, that Rocksteady Studios is working on a Batman Beyond game. It may be a PlayStation exclusive. So we'll see. I'm not holding my breath on anything. So, you know, that's just how we live, right? We're just like, uh but okay, so moving on to the big stuff. All right, let's get sad for a second. Today, as of this recording, Lex Luthor actor Gene Hackman and his wife and their dog were found dead in their home. So Gene Hackman has passed away. That really only leaves, like, what, Mark McClure as
From
and Annette O'Toole, but she was only, if we're just looking as a whole, like, as main character type people from the Donner era of Superman films alive, like
I mean,
Tom.
you got John Cryer.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're right. So yeah, from Superman 4, but I don't know if I really want to claim Superman 4, but this is really weird. Like, it sounds like maybe it was something like, Junia said this before. I saw other people say this, that maybe there was something like carbon monoxide poisoning or something. because they were all found dead, and they're not reporting foul play.
Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah, that's sad. All of them found dead. I mean, he was 95. She
she was
was in her
63.
60s. I think
Yep.
63, yeah. So,
Rest in peace, Mr. Hackman.
yeah,
And what's
that's a
crazy,
sad note.
and I'm about to do a for our March. We're doing a commentary watch of Superman, the 3-hour TV cut, because I haven't watched it in years. But all right, we got the sad news out of play. Let's get into some cool stuff. All right, here we go. Boom. Our first look from DC Studios, fan first. I got this today, of Hal Jordan and John Stewart for Lanterns. And it looks like just two worn down dudes walking down the street.
Yeah, it does.
And I'm okay with that, you know, as long as we actually get some Lantern fighting. Now, this is a picture that was released where you can see the ring on Hal Jordan.
Yes, sir.
And it reminds me of a Green Lantern ring that I bought at Hot Topic. And Brian said it looked too much like the Ryan Reynolds ring. I was like, no, it doesn't.
No.
Um,
No, that ring was totally green and it had this alien look to it.
right. But I like Kyle Chandler as an actor, period. And I'm looking forward to this series. I just, it could be like a hard traveling heroes type thing with the two of them. I like the
Right.
idea of how Jordan be this older seasoned Lantern. And just for comparison, here is an image I pulled of the Lantern ring from Guy Gardner. I've always kind of been a fan of each Lantern. Their ring is a little bit different, suited to
Right.
them. We have 3 of the possible 7 live action Lanterns now in existence, as we will be.
Yeah, just the humans.
I'm talking about just the humans. I'm talking about, like, you know what we have. Well, if I count, we have, if we count him, Alan Scott, then Hal Jordan, John, Guy, Kyle, Simon, Jessica, Sojourner, Mullins. Did I forget
and
anybody?
Teen Lantern.
But isn't that Sojourner? Isn't that Teen Lantern also? Or are they two separate characters? I don't know, because I've not really read anything with them.
No, so you're talking about Joe?
Yeah.
No, that's a different character. Joe
See?
Teen Lantern is a um
Oh no, yeah,
it
you're right.
was
I was
with
thinking of something
Young
else.
Justice for a little while, but then
Yeah.
there was it's been a minute, I can't remember exactly, but the fact the power that it had through the gauntlet and the pack was something unique. And I can't place where that story went.
Yep. I was getting it mixed up. Yeah, like it's just too many human lanterns.
Right.
Mm.
Um well, like I was saying, like I said earlier when this image came out, it's going to be an HBO show, HBO or HBO Max,
Or
either
just Max.
or Max.
Max
I
is
mean,
going to be
it's
changing its
HP.
colors.
Yeah.
They're going to make it like black now instead of the blue it's had.
Well, I know it's being produced by HBO, as it were. So that's what they've already said. I'm pretty sure that's what that image had on there. But um they've done Game of Thrones and House of Dragon, and if you've seen any of the Dune series that
I
was
haven't
on,
watched it yet. It's on my to
um
watch list.
they can do quality fantasy sci-fi, alien worlds and things like that. So, I mean, yeah, them walking down the street, I got no problem with that, as long as they actually do um, some of that look, some of that fantastical element. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to have to be walking and driving everywhere and just, you know what I mean, like being able to fly, being able to have constructs and things like that.
I just don't want it to be like the opening. Go back and watch the opening of Bumblebee when they're on Cybertron, and you're just like, oh, this is so awesome. And it's like all the Transformers battling. It's everything that you wanted. And then all of a sudden, like, B escapes and he crashes on Earth. And you're like, okay. And this is where we're at now.
Yeah.
So we'll eventually get to other stuff. But all right. So let's go through this. James Gunn and DC Studios had a big announcement with a bunch of stuff on here. And some of it we're just going to go through quickly. And we'll get it here. Okay, this I just found. James Gunn and Peter Safran confirmed that Matthew Orton, he wrote Operation Final and Moon Knight, is writing the script for Deathstroke and Bane, the Deathstroke and Bane film. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Hold on. DC had set a goal for their next 6 years: 2 live action films, 1 animated film, 2 live action shows, 2 animated series a year is their plan for next 6 years.
Wow, 7 projects a year.
Now that doesn't state the animated film is theatrical or if it's straight to DVD. There hasn't really been much to come for, talk about the straight to DVD market, straight to home video or whatever. So,
I do like the all in where they're all in the same universe.
I do too.
You just do certain things in animation because your mind just accepts more with animation. So you just do certain things with animation and it just and then it fits in the world, and hopefully you get to see that in live action at some point. I mean, like Frankenstein, or we're gonna see Flag in Superman. So
Yeah,
as a first the prime example, and of course we saw Waller in Creature Commandos, and we already seen her, and we know she's probably going to be back in some capacity in Peacemaker season 2.
so
I'd imagine.
Waller. Okay, so there was a bunch of other stuff that was talked about, and it's just a lot of conversation. Hold on, Jujo. But we'll get there because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, let's get this. James Gunn says Andy Muschietti will be the first to read the Batman, the Brave and the Bold script. A writer is attached, but hasn't been publicly revealed. The film follows Batman and his son, Damian Wayne, a fiery, unpredictable Robin. But everyone passes around this image, which is Dick and Damian, which is hilarious. Still not sure how I feel about Mr. Muschietti directing, but what are you going to do? So here's
like I said, the only thing that we can say is he did some pretty awesome Batman stuff in the last movie he did.
Yeah, but then he talks bad about the Flash. I'm just going, you know what, man? Don't talk bad about stuff. It gets annoying.
Oh, yeah, we discussed that. That's just kind of crap. It's just he's trying to come up with an excuse to make himself feel better about how the movie performed.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was many factors, not just his direction of the movie and editing and what ultimately came out in the end. A lot of factors.
Yep. So, and let's see here. What else I got? All kinds of stuff. We're getting My Adventures with Green Lantern. Official description of My Adventures with Green Lantern animated series. It will follow high school student Jessica Cruz, who has her life upended when, according to an official logline, a Green Lantern power ring falls from the sky and chooses Cruz to be its champion. Things get even worse when more debris from the Lantern's ancient space war arrives along with their alien foes. Jake Watt is executive producing, and Stephanie Gonzalez is co-executive producing. Okay, cool. So it seems like they're birthing a new DC animated universe with it's going to have to cross over at some point with My Adventures with Superman. Um, but it just seems weird because My Adventures with Superman is a different like DC universe.
Yeah,
So
which it could almost be an animated universe with my adventure shows. Honestly, and we had the Green Lantern animated series, the Bruce Timm one, so which did very well. I mean, not I don't want to say very well. For the people who know it, knows it
mhm.
was very good, but it wasn't very popular at its time. It only got one season,
Yeah,
but it's a
it
really
was
good
really good.
show. But I mean, they even so I feel like My Adventures with Superman, because how good that show was, um, with its storytelling and its animation. If it's
Mhm.
anything similar for Green Lantern, I think it would do very well.
Excuse me. And then we're getting Starfire has officially been greenlit, serving as an origin story that follows her adventures after she uses an ancient spaceship she discovers on her home planet Tamarin to escape and explore the stars. So along the way, she'll meet Spice Baker Crush and plant loving Fern and more. But this, I think, is supposed to be an animated film for Starfire.
I do love the idea of bringing Crush in there.
So, and then we have Superpowers. DC Superpowers has officially been greenlit, taking place at the Alliance School for Heroes and focuses on new students Lightning, Flash, Plastic Man, Aquagirl, Green Lantern, and Terra, who level up their powers under the supervision of Principal Martian Manhunter. This just basically kind of sounds like a retool of the original shorts and movies of the DC superhero girls. Because like it was called DC Superhero Girls, but yet it had a lot of male characters in it too.
Yeah. I mean, your primary characters were the superhero girls. It's just the men were other boys at school, or primarily. Um, didn't they? Didn't wasn't there talks of a series for like um kind of like a superhero academy? That's the word I was looking for, like a superhero academy. Wasn't there talk of that idea being thrown around in DC earlier? I can't remember if that was like over there on the CW or if that was something else that they were, pitching around with at one point.
Yeah, it was something. I don't know. So check out this picture of Nicholas Holt that was released. Talk, James, go.
um, yeah, the with the black and white shot, he looks more Lex Luthor in it. I'm really excited to see his portrayal. I just watched Nosferatu, and it's funny because just before that I watched Renfield. So then watched Nosferatu later, but um he's growing into a very good actor. Um, he had some corny roles coming up there, but also some really good work. And I am excited for him to play Lex Luthor. I feel like he can be. I think he's going to come off as a very intelligent person, but very menacing.
Have you watched any of The Great?
The Great? No.
You should watch a little bit. He's Peter, the ruler of Russia, who marries Catherine, who becomes Catherine the Great. Like his range is so great as an actor. Like Janine and I watched the first season. We're in the second season now. You should check it out. Just like I said, it's on Hulu. It's a Hulu
Okay.
original.
The Great.
He's just a great actor. Period. Okay.
Yeah.
This is exciting here. See, I told you there's like all kinds of like little news stuff that popped up. I mean, whole episode almost news. Crypto will be in a series of short films that are in development, described as seasonal themed shorts, 4 in total, and it's the same dog from the movie. And we will see the first one later on this year. So we're gonna get 4 little. So James Gunn is milking the dog, okay? And I've said this before. We've talked about like I was explaining to Solomon earlier why they use Guy Gardner for the Superman movie and stuff. I was like, I feel like James Gunn has these certain archetypes that he uses. I mean, think about it. Peacemaker has Eagly. We have Crypto. He brings in the animal to win your heart over. He knows what he's doing. So,
Right.
but there was this whole big thing where they talked about the DC slate and projects. They've hit speed bumps. They're pulling back on the Authority. He says Waller's moving a little slower than he had wanted to. We talked. Clayface has a director, and I was a little shocked because I thought Mike Flanagan was going to direct, but I guess he just wrote the script. They're looking at Daniel Radcliffe to star in Clayface. But yeah, he said it's hard to get the Authority right when you're living in a world that has the boys. And I think maybe they should retool the Authority as a series to try to explore certain things and stuff like the boys.
Right. I mean, the boys would be ending with season 5, so.
But it's like you don't get to something like the boys without having the MCU or DC films. You need those.
Yeah.
To set the standard, so then you can deconstruct and do stuff more with it. But I'm just saying, like that's what he was saying, and I was never super thrilled about the idea of the Authority. I mean, that was kind of why I thought they brought the engineer in, was to help connect the Authority to the main universe.
That was my thought.
But we'll see. And I guess they are really making a Sergeant Rock movie, and I have no idea why. Like even hardcore comic fans are like, "Oh yeah, that is a thing." I guess Jeremy Allen White is the front runner for Sergeant Rock. But yeah, that is something that's moving forward. I'm just kind of like, out of everything that could be done, because I see a lot of people really up in arms feeling that Wonder Woman's getting a lot of the shit into the stick. Sorry for saying that, but because we haven't got new casting for her, we haven't had anything talked about with her, because even the Amazon series, is not going to, be her.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be Diana. At least that's how it's kind of been told.
So
we've got nothing else on the project itself either, so.
But yeah, there's a lot of like little tidbits, but like that's the big stuff I've been able to pull out, because I don't know, there's always so much moving and shaking, and I just don't want to go down rabbit holes like we did before with like, oh, this is being talked about, this might happen. You know what? I need more confirmation that is actually moving forward or not. So
yeah, right now we know we've got Peacemaker coming out, Superman coming out, Supergirl,
Lanterns.
Lanterns. I mean,
All
as
right.
long as they don't freaking write off any more movies, the ones that are in production we'll get to see.
Like, hey, we made this awesome movie and we're gonna cancel it because we suck. All right, we're officially done with the news. I think we got it all. Yeah. All right, just double checking my notes. Okay, cool. So we are now going to talk about Superboy as we approach the end of season 1. First episode up, season 1, episode 21, Mutant. Clark witnesses the kidnapping of Professor Craig Lipcott, a famous nuclear scientist. As Superboy, he follows the kidnapper to a rooftop and sees them enter a strange ship just before he is attacked by a powerful ray that leaves him disoriented. What did you think about this? Because I really felt like this felt like just a bad episode of Star Trek.
Gotta pause.
So yeah, that's what I felt like. Because like the mutant, like it was a weird title to be called mutant when they were like space aliens. And then she's like one of them, but she looks human. I don't know. Like I kind of got lost in
Yeah.
this episode.
Well,
I was like,
she was the mutant because she wasn't she didn't look like them. You know, she looked normal. She looked like a normal human. So she was a mutant on her world. But she's like the ruler too.
yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. Um yeah, it was really weird. Very very 80s special effects. The pointing the fingers and just zapping people's minds. Had the circle, the little rings, the ring effect. It was funny. Um, TJ just trying to talk his way, talk his way out of it. That was pretty hysterical.
TJ, who I keep
Um,
wanting to call Jimmy.
yeah,
But I'm like, oh, this is TJ.
right. And the
But overall, how did you feel about this episode?
um, I honestly I thought it was really funny with a lot of those things, the things that I was talking, the things that I mentioned, um, and Superman flying across the floor. You know, he was just laying on something, and they just like pulled him, and it was like, shoo, and he slid across the floor. It was hilarious. So I liked it because I thought it was really funny, but it wasn't very good.
No, I feel like it's overall a forgettable episode. Like in the grand scheme of Superboy.
Even at the end, they did kind of like the look at the camera and wave thing, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that Chris did.
Yep. Yeah, right here. Next episode we did. This one I liked. The Phantom of the Third Dimension. Jonathan Kent is being stalked by a man with whom he fought alongside during the Korean War. As Clark, Lana, and TJ come to Smallville for a visit, Mr. Kent is lured to the Smallville hospital and kidnapped by this man. I like this one because we're back in Smallville. I think Stuart Whitman is a underrated Jonathan Kent. And it was more about Jonathan. It was about, the not as much addressed post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah.
So yeah, but I liked it. Martha was a little annoying in this episode though. Like just some of it wasn't the actress's fault, just some of the lines and stuff they gave her to deal with. I was like with the whole like Clark and them were in a car crash. And Jonathan's like, you know, nothing happened. Well, it could be Lana and TJ, and then I didn't quite understand why we kept getting Lana and TJ were breaking Martha's dishes.
I don't know. I don't know why that happened.
I feel like TJ just became that character. Like we don't know what to do with this guy anymore. Just crap. We have to put him in an episode.
Right.
But yeah, it's I like this one. It was
Yeah, the
actually
stuff with Paw was really good.
it was directed
Superboy.
by soon to be legendary director David Nutter.
David Nutter. Yes. Yes,
We
it
know
was.
David Nutter's work. You know, he shot
Um,
pilots for such things as Smallville and Supernatural, and would go on to be known as the Pilot King.
pretty much, yeah. Um, he had one of the best records of pilots getting picked up to series.
Yes, he did.
um, I did call the his old buddy from the Korean War. I did call him Wish Charlton Heston.
Nice.
um, yeah, I know I've actually seen that guy somewhere, but I couldn't tell you where. I'm sure he is a character actor. Um, you know, probably seen him in random episodes of television shows here
Yeah.
and there. I know I've seen him before, but yeah, that's what I got as soon as he appeared on screen and said, "Oh, look, it's Wish Charlton Heston."
You're like, oh,
Maybe
this guy.
Timu Charlton Heston today.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like that might be the better foil here. It's still no scene from Wayne's World though. Gordon Street. Yes, Gordon Street. So I like this one because I like I said, Smallville. I like seeing Ma and Pa, and then some bikers start hitting on Lana because every time that a woman's around, men are just horrible and despicable people that try to take advantage of them and run their mouths. So
Yeah, yeah, they're
man,
always terrible.
horrible.
Right. I did like in that fight where Clark got punched in the face, and then he was just like he looked mad, and then he was like, "All right, well,
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna fall down now, and then I'm gonna grab you by the leg and throw you over your bike."
that was probably my favorite part.
It's very reminiscent of when he gets shot in a couple of episodes.
Yep, man, we got a really good shirt rip. So for John Haynes Newton. So all right, next episode we got is The Black Flamingo. The attempted excuse me. An attempted assassination of a senator leads Superboy to a mysterious nightclub. Okay, so when the biker shows up, did you immediately know that it was Superboy?
I felt like it was. I was like, is this going to be somebody else? But as soon as he started asking questions, I was like, oh yeah, that's absolutely Clark. It was a thought. I was like, is that Clark or no? Because he had like a mix of like a Rambo and a Cobra thing going on there
Oh yeah.
with the mullet and the beard and the sunglasses and the leather coat.
So yeah, I like this one because the brain wave, like erasing their mind, and the only part I didn't quite understand was at the end of the episode, why did Clark still have the snake, and why didn't he just as Superboy return the snake?
I don't know. I'm not even sure where he got the snake from.
I know it's great though because he hid like the recording device and everything under the snake because nobody wanted to mess with the snake.
Yeah.
So I was like ingenious, but man, I like this one because it's a little bit different, and he eventually became Superboy at the end. Was this the one? Oh yeah, this one had the part that was laughing me where Clark goes into the limo and then changes in the limo and flies out the top of the limo as Superboy. But he's so slow at flying. Like someone would clearly see, oh my god, Superboy just came out of that limo.
Right. Oh, the biker nobody's ever seen before just climbed in that limo. Was he Superboy?
So and
um,
then
it looked like a fun punk club, I guess.
yeah, especially for the 80s, like
Uh
TJ with
huh.
his dyed-blued hair trying to be punk, and Lana.
I did like the how his hair was all real big and everything and up, and he hid the camera inside of his hair.
Um, so yeah, um, it was cool. The last episode we have is Hollywood, and I don't remember this one. This one was also directed by David Nutter. I didn't remember this from my first watch, but Professor Zugar invents a time machine and sends himself and Superboy back in time to Hollywood in the 1930s, 1939 to be precise. Superboy meets a famous actor, Victoria Latour, and discovers that she's being stalked by men who want to kill her. I feel like this one's really cool in theory. Um, because you're going back to the 30s when Superman was created, and I feel like he should have just went back to 38, and it should have been like a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing. He should have played up more of like the Clark in the comics, but he saves that actress, and that actress whose name I can't think of at the top moment. She's had a long career in television because I was like, I know her from stuff, and I looked her up. Um, but Superboy tells her he's from Schuster University, and she's like, "Oh, there's no Schuster University." He's like, "Not yet, it isn't." And then, we have this random professor that we've never met before, and it drives me
Who
crazy how many.
apparently invents time travel.
Yeah, it just and Superboy's all pissed about it, like, "Oh, just get me home." And I'm like, dude, he just invented time travel. You could go back. He still doesn't know what planet he's from. He still doesn't know he's from Krypton. um, uh, and what do you call it? It is just kind of crazy because he does all this, and then he gets sent back, and there's when he gets sent back, it's him, TJ, and Lana are meeting for this woman that nobody knows, this old actress who left all this money to Schuster University, and it's her. And we see a picture of her and Superboy and Clark because they found, like, they've known he saves her from these thugs, as Clark, and falls in love with
Yeah.
her. But then he is like super like mean to the professor guy. And I'm just kind of like, I wish they had more of returning characters.
Yeah. He's mean to the professor, but Clark is macking again. Like, like how many different women has he kissed this season?
Oh, I know this Clark's a smooth man, dude. This is the Clark you want to be.
Right. I did like how he was dressed like George Reeves.
Yes,
So he looked a lot like George Reeves Clark Kent.
but that's the episodes we have. Um, one more piece of news here: Supergirl is halfway through filming. It's approaching its halfway point in its production. Directed, so I just think we
Wow.
need to. It'd be really nice to get a suit reveal, something of Supergirl would be awesome, but it would also be awesome if that's what we get in Superman the film as it is.
Yeah. Superman the film, Comic-Con, something.
Well, I mean, the Comic-Con will be like the week before or right around the same time the movie comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got for now. Um so
Yeah.
James has got to bounce. I'm gonna go save some people, and I'm just gonna talk for a moment here. I did read the all-in Power Girl, just because we mentioned it earlier, Power Girl issue. And all I'm gonna say is it's so confusing and hard to understand at times, even when you're reading it, because like the last issue she talked about, she's Karen, but now she's back to Paige and having these identities. And the cover art's great, but then inside the art's okay. But she's back to like these thigh-high blue boots and a one-piece swimsuit looking outfit with long gloves and her red cape. So she looks more like traditional Power Girl that people has made fun of and talked about. But I do like that, Natasha Irons is in this book. So I do like when they kind of subdivide the super family. But she's another girl, it's another character they're just not sure what to do with. And I don't know. Like, it's just like with Supergirl getting her own title, it's nice. Power Girl has her title. And I was really digging it. But I don't know, this issue just felt almost like a step backwards with Power Girl. So, but what are your thoughts, people? Like, that's about all we have. James like I said, has to go and save the world. And we'll catch up on comics more next time. We'll let some back build up and we'll have a longer discussion. But that's what we got. And remember,
look up in the sky!
Thank you for checking out the Krypton Report. Please click our link tree in the show notes to follow us on your favorite social media platform. We have a $1 Patreon, just $1 a month to keep us going. And in return, you get exclusive shows and specials. If you want to join us on an episode, send us an email or a message.